So, my name is Sunil, and I am from Bangalore, and I am currently a PCC coach. I work with multiple aspects of life. I am very safely and happily niche agnostic. I work with individuals from all across the world, all across the genres, all across ages to just ensure who they, just provide them with that space where they are able to find that solutions themselves. And essentially, the aspect of mentoring is something that I really, really enjoy. That aspect runs is a very big part of who I am. So I am into coaching for possibly the last 2.5-ish years, 2 years, 9 months, and around 900 hours of experience. I bring in multiple aspects of coaching that are very interesting and very niche as such. I coach in three different languages, two of them very strongly rooted to India, and one obviously being English, that's open to all across people across the world. And I also am a poet. Then I became an engineer, and then after engineering, I got into coaching at the age of 30. And no guesses for guessing my age. I'm 33 years old. I'm possibly among the younger lot of coaches getting into coaching right now, and I do coaching full time. And yeah, so I bring in my first love, which is which is writing, into the aspect of coaching, and especially when the client is stuck and the client needs to sort of work on something that really is important for them, and in a way that I don't tell them what to do. I don't make them go through a set process, which I think all of us, the ICF coaches, are aware. And that's how the program is all about. And that's a little bit of introduction about me. And for those that are meeting me for the first time, this is a quick, small introduction. Otherwise, in terms of the aspects of today's conversation, even before we get there, I am part of, or I run a community for coaches, of coaches, and by coaches. And this is open for all from all across the world. We're about 230-ish now, from multiple aspects and multiple places. And difference in terms of age groups, different in terms of geographies and all. So if that looks interesting for you, we enable such kind of sessions that are happening across the ICW on a constant weekly basis. There are live sessions, there are mentoring sessions, there are sessions around different topics. There are other people who come in and talk about many things as part of coaching. So if you feel that that's a space that's interesting for you, to reach out to me. I'm just putting in my number here on WhatsApp. Um, and some of you would have received an email from my Yahoo address. That's something that can be also responded to, or you can also write to me here at nimmacoach@gmail.com. And when I say NimmaCoach, Nimma means yours in the language that I am very comfortable with, which is my mother tongue, Kannada. And that's basically means NimmaCoach is your coach and your coach for all things coaching. So my plan is in the next, say, 3 to 6 months, build on something that becomes a train the trainer module for coaches, and specifically for some of the coaches who want to get into exploring coaching and creativity together. So that's a little bit of what I do. And today's conversation is sometimes the most interesting one. I will try and make it as theatrical as possible, while maintaining the sanctity of an ICF coaching relationship, while making it interesting for all of you to be a part of in this conversation, where I am the coach, I am the client. I would request all of you to be muted. Govind, I think I leave it to you to keep that going. The session starts maybe at around 7:10 or 7:11. Maybe runs another 40 minutes until 7:51. And then after that, we close, we debrief. And this is also an experiment. I've done it maybe once before. And see how it goes. The idea would be to look at coaching and see where this goes. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. The conversation and the scripting has not been prior to me. I'm very bad with scripting, and for 40 minutes you can't script a show. So this is as raw as live as it gets. And the idea would be to observe what happens with the coach, observe what happens with the client, and from that, it could be a learning for all of you. Right. So I will get into my act. So, yeah. So when I'm with you here, with this part of the screen, I am a coach. Right. So that's how it's going to be differentiated. So you will be able to see this side of the screen. And when I am going to be a client, I'm going to be wearing a client's hat. So this is how you will differentiate. I'm a client, and possibly this is how you'll know when I'm a coach. So I hope that's clear, and that's interesting enough for you. And I can see you're laughing or smiling about it. So I know I have caught your attention. Uh, that's the basic framework. We will start in about a minute or two, and just get this going. Right. So all with me on this, just give me a thumbs up and then off we start. Okay, done. Okay, so perfect. Um, so I am the coach, and this is client Sunil. Thanks, Sandeep. So the client will be called Sunil, and the coach will address them as coach itself. So that's how it goes. Yeah. So this is again an experiment to see how this is going, and let's take it from here. So hi Sunil, how are you doing today? So, good to see you after such a long time. I hope all's good with you. Yes, coach, everything is fantastic. Life's been interesting. I like to see where this goes. And I wanted to share something with you in today's session. I am here to sort of express myself and share how this goes. Yeah, so maybe just wanted to check. I have another meeting and say another 40-ish minutes. Can we sort of work with 40-minute as a conversation? Uh, Yeah, Sunil, definitely. I hear you. I see you quite excited to this session. How are you doing today? You said that. So whenever you're ready, you can start, and we can definitely get this started. So is there anything that we'd like to share before we begin? If that's the so, before we kickstart this aspect, Sunil, I know we've been having this conversation for quite some time, and you are also familiar with what coaching is and what it's not. But again, just want to reiterate that this is a safe space. All that you share is going to be a space that's valid. All your emotions, feelings, expressions have space here. You can express yourself however you want to express, whatever you want to share. That's completely open. Whatever you share is confidential, non-judgmental, as much as possible. From my end, I'll make that promise, and I'll keep that with you here. And so if you feel like there's anything before we start, please do let us know. Otherwise, I'm good to start. Sunil, yeah, I think completely good. I'd like to start the session. Yeah, so that's there. Yeah. So, Sunil, thanks. Let's keep the ball rolling. And you said you have possibly around 40 minutes. So we're 3 minutes up. So let's keep this conversation going. So just checking in with you. I see you. You know, while you came into the session, talk about how excited you were to take this coaching conversations. What would you like to start with, and what would you like to talk about? Yeah. So, yeah, coach. So one of the things that I'm excited about is, yeah, as you know, as in when I've got to coaching, it's been very interesting. And one of my friend, he gave me this dialogue yesterday that sits with me. And it also makes me a little bit of wibbly wobbly about it. But I think there is that space where I think it is interesting for me to take it up. Yeah. So that's what I want to sort of talk about to you. I know I'm a little excited about it. But I think there is more to it than now that I'm still even thinking about it and recollecting it. Uh, yeah. Well, I hear you. I hear you talk about things being interesting, something that your friend told. And can I share something that I observed while you were sharing what you were sharing? Uh, yes, coach. So you had a change in your expression. You froze for a minute, and then also your tonality and your body language obviously had a slight change. What happened? Would you like to share a little bit about that? Uh, yeah, I think I also felt my energy also completely changed because I remembered something that was what the whole conversation was all about. And somebody yesterday, one of my friends told me that you're very good with leaders, and leaders are very good with you, and that got me thinking, and that was something that really riled me up, triggered me, and I thought, I think this is something to really think about because it opened up an entire plethora of conversations for me, and I don't know if that was something that I could take at that point of time. It felt definitely overwhelming, and I don't know what was happening at that point of time. I had no idea about what happened, and I somehow made an excuse out of it and came back. And I sat with myself after that, and I thought to myself, I think this is a topic that I need to take it to my coach and see where this goes. Because I didn't feel like myself when I got there in that particular conversation. And somehow something that the individual, who's a very close friend of mine, he shared something, and I thought there's something there. It hit me at a place where I don't know what hit me, and I felt very very strongly about it. Hmm. I hear you, Sunil. I hear you. So I saw that you shared a lot of things. I heard you share about your friend. I heard you share about leaders being friendly with you, and I also heard you share that you were triggered. Um, what are you feeling right now? I feel strangely indifferent as of now. But at that point of time, it felt really overwhelming, and I could see and I could sense this very tight feeling across the chest. It somehow made me very uncomfortable and not like who I am. It just definitely was very strong here, and possibly even at the throat, if I can say. And that's something that made me bring it to you today, and see from where it was. Mm. Anything else, Sunil, that you're currently feeling? I think I'm somehow very slow, and I now that I say that, it felt indifferent. Somehow lands a little different on me. I still feel a little bit here from whatever I'm remembering from what happened that day. Um, so that's how I feel. Uh, hmm. So I heard you share that you feel a tightness in your chest, and I can see a very distinct difference in your energies and this thing while you're sharing all this. Uh, how's this impacting you at this particular moment of time? Uh, that's a very interesting question. How's this impacting me? I think it definitely put me under a question mark. It's put a spotlight on what am I thinking, what am I feeling. I somehow feel a lot of chaos inside my body. So it feels a little uncomfortable. It feels a little weird to sit with this particular aspect. Um, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. So I don't know what's happening. Hmm. I acknowledge what you're feeling, Sunil. I can definitely see you that see this is something that is important for you to sort of bring it to our today's conversation. And I see that you feel you share that you feel overwhelmed. It's it's not comfortable. It's something that is different. Um, how would you like to feel at the end of the conversation that we have today? Hmm. Yeah, like I shared like being in the spotlight, my own self. I like to possibly, say who I am as an individual right now and what am I processing, what is all happening. Right now, it feels like very fuzzy, and possibly at the end of the call, it feels less fuzzy if that works out for me. That's something that I'm looking at. So, I hear you share about the spotlight and the question about who you are as an individual. What would you like to do? How does it sit with you when you are in the spotlight? Feels like I am sitting in my own space and I'm judging myself very strongly. Um, and now that I recollect about what happened that day with my friend and colleague. It felt out of the blue. It felt like kick in the gut kind of a thing. It felt out of the blue, and I was not looking at whatever that happened. It felt like I was possibly violated by that conversation that happened. And he said, the leaders are uh, very favorable to you. And the way he said it, I think that's what pissed me off. He had that laugh, that said more than whatever it was saying, and that put me on the spotlight again because I felt I should have come back to him and drawn my boundaries somehow. And also, my conversation with leaders have been lackluster. Yeah. Coach, I don't think I like the silence. So yes, I saw you smile and and I heard you share. I don't like the silence. What were you processing at that particular point of time? I don't know. I think it put me back into that space of my own spotlight, and that silence was something that I have right now. I I think that silence is there because I have not found an answer to what triggered me or what made me do this. So yeah, I think what triggered me, what made me do this, some of these questions I have no answer, and maybe that's something that I want to explore today. Yeah. Hmm. So Phil, I'm with you. I hear you share a lot of things. So I hear you share, that silence, and that's how it feels internally that these answers are not there, and there are, questions that you're working with. And just checking in, what would it feel when you have all the answers? Hmm. Interesting question. What would it feel when I have all the answers? I don't know. Um, but I'm definitely seeing it as less here. There's less question marks here. There's more surety. There's less fussiness. I feel more empowered as such, and I feel good about myself. Whatever be the answer, I feel good about myself, and that's how it is. Yeah. Hmm. So, just checking in, Sunil, you said you wanted to have answers, and the answers will, make you feel more secure, less fuzzy. Um, and just checking in, before we start, what are some things that you're already aware of when it comes to what's happening with you? Hmm. What am I already aware of? Uh, uh, tough question to ask. Tough question to answer. Uh, what I'm already aware of is that this has triggered me, and I think it feels like somebody is hit home. It's harder than whatever has happened. Uh, I think there's more to the eye than what I'm sharing, and that's what makes me feel uh, fuzzy as such. It's not clearer to me saying what the hell's happening and why did I have this kind of a reaction. Uh, I'm trying to, like you said, you put that as part of what coaching is. What's the whole curiosity aspect of it? I've tried to sit with myself for some time. It's not worked, and then I've spoken to my friend and my wife and children and all that, and what they said. They said go to your coach. He will figure it out. He'll help you with this. And I said, yeah, I think the coach is going to ask me questions, and I did not expect what I'm already aware of, right? So I think that's what I'm aware of. And yeah, I think there is something I should acknowledge. Somehow, me and leaders have not seen eye to eye on many things. And Mhm. I heard you say and then paused. Mm. I think the elephant in the room is that I've never been properly treated by leaders that I've known. Hmm. Sunil, I see you pausing, I see you reflecting, I see you silent. And before that, you said something about leaders that made you pause. What are you feeling now across the body? I think it's a very bitter taste. I think it's a bitter taste across the tongue. Uh, it's not overwhelming. It's not anywhere nearer to a positive emotion as such. I am chuckling, and as I say at this, and hmm. So, Sunil, what's been your relationship with leaders? Oh, interesting. Fundamentally, for me, leadership has been something that individuals have, and it does not have to be anything around gender, does not have to be on anything. It's about, competency, understanding, passion, driving people, being good at it, walking the talk, and then yeah, I think really, really walking the talk, right? So, be it whatever field of reference, be it individual, be it personal. And I somehow feel that leadership has not got nothing to do with people being at a particular level in an organization. They're sharing of who they are, the vision statements, presentations, all that. Uh, uh, so I think and that's my understanding of leadership, uh, and I see myself as a leader in anything and everything that I'm doing, and I think my relationship with those that occupy leadership positions in an organization has not been friendly. I feel I've been taken for a ride. I feel I've been very horrible with maintaining boundaries. I've been told this many times by my friends that you should put your boundaries across, share whatever that needs to be shared, put a spot on your authenticity, hold your horses, kind of a thing. And I think year on year, my efforts have been strongly consistent and somehow um, never gotten to the aspect of appreciation. People behind me have got better responses, funds. They said, "Oh, there's no fund to send you to Germany," and then five of them went there. They said, "Yeah, we will send you next year," and then next year keeps on coming. They said, "We'll give you another job in another place. That will be a better reflection of what you are and your competencies." And never came to me, man. I don't think I have a very good understanding of what leadership is, and um, I think, yeah, never been favorable, and that's something that is something that triggered me, I guess. Because when the other person said leaders are favorable to you, I think it opened up a volcano inside me that, is ready to burst open. And at that point, yeah, it felt like it hit me hard. And yeah, so Sunil, I heard an entire dictionary of expressions, emotions, all dance on your face while you shared this. Your energy moved on a very different graph. How are you feeling right now? Oh, yeah. I think I am seeing what is happening in the spotlight. Uh, and I'm seeing myself clearer now. Um, as in terms of feeling, I feel very light. I think I have put the light on something that was in the dark for me for quite a long time. Uh, I think I've always said, oh, I'm okay with relationships with my leaders. Um, I somehow always pushed it under the rug, not been very candid about it. When I'm talking to you, it feels light. And like I said, it's like, a volcano is bursting and that was supposed to burst a long time ago. And it does feel good to talk to you about it. Yeah, I feel good about myself. Hmm. So you feel good about yourself. You said, the spotlight is getting there or the light is shining on something that you'd never seen before. Acknowledgement of something that was there with regards to your leaders, how they've let you down, uh, has been something that you shared. And pardon me for being a little curious with this. There was one word which you shared that sort of shifted your energies to where it is now. Uh, if it's okay, if you're okay with it, can I share that? Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think this looks interesting. The course radar has found something, and you let me know. Yeah. So it's an observation from my end. There are no data points attached to it. You can always respond to it as in how you feel about it, and whatever thoughts it opens up for you are yours and yours alone. And if you feel that's irrelevant, please feel free to let it go, and we can come back to the call. Yeah, go ahead. Definitely share what it is, and let's see where it goes. And I observed this aspect of when you shared walk the talk, you paused a little bit, and that was the exact word you used. Walk the talk. You paused a little bit, and then you said it again. Walk the talk, and then you were passionately talking about something, and then you paused at that point, and that somehow after that everything sort of changed. Hmm. I think walk the talk is a value that I really, really subscribe to. That people cannot be called leaders if they do not walk the talk. And I do not respect people who do not walk the talk. Certainly, the person I'm referring to, or the person who told me that, that leader who is preferential to you or favorable to you, it's not somebody who walks the talk. There's a lot of policies, politics, dirty politics, a lot of promises broken constantly. And to say that person is favorable was putting a question mark on who I am. It felt like undermined, undervalued. Everything that I was doing was put under the radar at that point of time. And I think that's what made it overwhelming. I think there's something to do with walking the talk. Definitely. I think this is something interesting. I think we've caught on a thread that's really interesting. Hmm. How are you feeling now that you've caught on a thread that's interesting? And what's going to reveal pulling that thread? Pulling that thread, I think, has started. I feel this is something that has opened up a Pandora's box. I feel better. I feel now that the mystery is sort of unraveling itself. The next page of the mystery novel is sort of moving. Uh, this is good. I think it's allowed me to think about something, reflect on it, think about this in great detail. And I think I am learning a lot more as to what is happening, and I'm getting to know a little bit about what is happening. And somehow I'm strongly relieved. So, Sunil, I heard you share that you're getting aware of something, and um, what is it? What are you getting aware of as you've been talking and unraveling the thread and mystery novels? The next page is being turned. Uh, yeah. See, I think my awareness aspect, as soon as I talked about this, I think that elephant in the room that I talked about, that my relationship with my leader has been always, I have put it under the rug, saying everything is okay, everything's fantastic. Um, I felt I am not owning up to that aspect of myself. And I see that change. I see that fascinatingly, put a lot of things under perspective. A lot of the questions I had was I doing anything that was against my values has been answered. It's not my values that I am doing anything against. It's possibly my values that are triggered by somebody saying you're somebody's favorite, somebody I am not respecting, somebody who does not walk the talk. I don't respect the person that is the leader, but I respect him as a human, and that's about it. It's like a base average that I respect everybody across the world with. Um, so when somebody like that says, "Oh, you're favorable and you're getting all the favors," when jack shit favors are coming from their end, oh, it felt like suddenly it was the wrong set of spotlights that were on, and with the more I sat with it, the more disco lights kept on switching on and switching off. And I think that was what made it overwhelming. And yeah, I think that's the nail in the coffin. That's something that I'd like to acknowledge for myself, that I do not like leaders who don't walk the talk. And I walk the talk. And that's a value that I very, very, very strongly subscribe to. And there is no need to put it under the rug that I don't like leaders who don't walk the talk. And I think I would have also been very happy to give it back to my friend saying that is BS. I'm a little irritated that I did not give it back to him. These are all observations. I think that is helping me with this. Mm. So you did share quite a lot of things, Sunil. I'd like to acknowledge you on the journey that you took in terms of getting to your awareness. You did most of the conversation yourself, and there's that acknowledgement around the awareness of yourself that you have developed over the years. And uh, thank you for sharing that elephant in the room and sharing that vulnerably and owning up to who you are and what values you walk up with, walking the talk. So, how are you feeling? Well, coach, I think I feel good. I feel fantastic. I feel great. Like I said, something on my shoulder, something on my chest, something from my throat feels like it has got its nirvana. I don't feel stuck anymore. The spotlight has revealed the real problem. Uh, and there are no question marks, there are no disco lights. I feel much, much relieved. But I think it has opened up another conversation, which I'll maybe come back to a little bit of time after reflection. Uh, but yeah, I feel very good. I feel that this shifted me to another level of self awareness. Yeah. Mhm. And Sunil, we started with something not being fuzzy, sorry, something being fuzzy, spotlight, question marks, and you seem to have found what works for you. How are things going? So I'm wondering, what are you telling yourself at this point of time, and what have you unlearned in this session? Hmm. I don't know if I can put it under the bracket of unlearned as such, but definitely let go of. I think I've let go of that strange requirement to be very good to others, saying hi, not just sort of say ah yeah yeah yeah, not give it back. Uh, I think yeah, I'll be a lot more open about it, a lot more authentic about it, and I think do it in a way that's not disrespectful to the individual. As an individual, everybody deserves respect, but not necessarily as a leader. And also, I think my days in this particular organizations are numbered right now. I will put down my papers. That's, I think, something that becomes clearer with this conversation, that I don't want to work with leaders who don't walk the talk. Uh, and I think I've reached the end of my tether. And I think the person who asked this question, I'd like to go and congratulate him, saying, you know what, you asked you made such a comment that has led me to this point to say, I'm done with this shitty organization. Oof. That's fantastic, coach. Thank you for this space. Thank you for asking those questions. And I feel so good about myself, so good about, bringing it to coaching. That's fantastic to hear, Sunil. And, acknowledgements to you, because the heavy work and big aspect of moving yourself from where you are, where you want to be, where you feel more empowered. That's a word that you used some time back. And, the spotlight, the questions, the awareness, congratulating your friend. A lot of acknowledgements go to you in terms of how you navigated this and how you worked on yourself here. Uh, Is there anything else that you want to talk to about in this conversation today, um, that would possibly add value and benefit to you? Uh, I think you asked all the right questions, Coach. What did I learn? What did I unlearn? How am I feeling? What was it all about? I don't think I have any other thing to sort of work with. I know, like I said, there are things that has become a lot more visible. How do I be more authentic? How do I draw my boundaries? Quite a lot of things, but essentially, it's about how I feel right now, and I feel fantastic. I'd like to come back to you for another session, definitely so. But for now, that's it. I think I'm done. Yeah, I'm good to go. I think my timeline also, if we have another 3 minutes left for me to go to another call. Uh, Brilliant. I think this is exactly what I wanted. Even though I didn't know what I wanted, I feel very clear. The fuzziness is gone. The spotlight is no longer shining like that. I feel less irritated, less guilty, less triggered. I think it's been fantastic. Hmm. Okay. And thank you, Sunil. Thank you for jumping into the space and being vulnerable and sharing what you wanted to share, finding what you wanted to find, and I'm happy to hold space for you anytime in the future if there is a need that arises. And for today, with your permission, I'd like to close. Thank you. Thanks, coach. See you then. Take care. Ciao. Bye. Yes, that's the end of the call.
Congratulations, Sunil.
Yes, thank you.
That was splendid.
So, yeah, That was indeed splendid. That is indeed fascinating. How are you guys feeling? What did you learn? What did you observe? Yeah, I am doing a little bit of logistics in the house. Yeah.
I, of course, the coaching and the coaching part was one side, but I was just observing how much of coaching presence there is in you. I felt that you could also coach a wall, blank wall. It really requires skill to suddenly change roles and immediately come up also with conclusions. So that shows your skill as a coach. That even you could be
Yes.
a coach and still coach yourself.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that was just splendid.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I had experience like this. There's a lot to learn from this. That coaching is almost like it's become so much an integral part of you that you can also coach yourself. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do. Which you made it sound very easy, but I could not really concentrate so much on the conversation as I was concentrating more on your part as a coach. It's you yourself who's the coach, there's nobody else. It's like your own mirror, and you did it splendidly.
Thank you.
You also solved the problem of the coachee, that's Coach Sunil, of
Yeah.
course, and made him feel really nice and comfortable after that. So, and what more do I say? It was something really daring that you did, and you did it really well.
Thank you. So I'll send something on the chat. And yeah, and then special, acknowledgement to Sandeep. Sandeep, thanks for joining in for this particular conversation. And only when you put on your video, I realized that which Sandeep it is. So thanks for joining in.
Hi, hi.
Yes, yes. So thanks for joining in. And I know you are a surprise package to this. So Sandeep does not know anything about coaching. So he's off the entire radar. He's a lawyer and was a lawyer now into something else. So he's part
I'm
of
a lawyer,
my.
but still doing both things.
So thanks for being here, Sandeep. And I'll come back to you because there are other people who put their hands up. I'll just check in with them. And possibly I'm looking at it from, say, I know I did a lovely performance. I'm very, very conscious of that. But from a coaching point of view or from a learning point of view, what did you observe? What did you see? And that's maybe you can also congratulate me and focus on also this. Yes, Aniket.
Yeah. So let me, on everybody's behalf, applaud and congratulate you, Sunil, for doing this. I think it's very courageous. And I don't want to collect my thoughts and then answer because I want to share what is impulsively and spontaneously coming to me. Um, I think it was great. It took us a little while to see the same face taking or assuming both the roles. After some time, I could also sense a difference in tonality, the way these two people were talking. Um, I'm not too sure if I followed what the challenge was and how it got led to through the coaching conversation, how it was led to a probable aha moment or let's say a solution for the client, because I couldn't follow the content, I'll be honest. But what was remarkable for me and what stood out was how um, the coach thought. So the first time when you took a longish pause, when the client said something, I thought that you were actually, thinking of what to ask next because you yourself are getting confused. Obviously, that was not the case. You were still trying to hold space for the client as the coach, and I appreciate that, and I noticed that. Um, Yeah, and as I'm no one to critique you, but I think at a couple of places, at one particular place, and I can't remember what it was, but you made a remark which I thought was based on assumption, and that he is going through this when the client actually did not say that. Um, but it was fabulous. I think hats off to you for doing this. Thank you so much, and I'll come back with more thoughts as I play it back in my head. Yeah,
Yeah, I
thanks.
think
Thank
we can
you.
take it up tomorrow again. The feedbacks can also come in tomorrow because we couldn't really, it was something so new.
Yeah, yeah, I completely understand. So I'll share the
We
recording
actually
with
did
you
not
guys.
plan what we're going to talk about.
Sorry? I
Not
had no plan. I had no plan. Maybe 10-15 minutes prior to that, I thought of with saying, okay, let me talk about something around leadership. That was the only thing that I thought of. That's about it. Everything else is flow, and some of it is a little bit of drama in and around here. Not everything, like, coming from Sunil, this Sunil, this Sunil, but a little bit of drama here and there. I knew how to add that element into it. Um, but yeah, I think thanks Aniket for noticing the change in voice, which I think I had to do because otherwise it looks the same voice both sides, and I had to like put a formal this thing here, put a hat, so somehow it looks a different dance.
what was really like impact. It was like the way you were. Just sorry, I think I'm still in a trance. Uh, like being a coach, you asking yourself a question, and when the coach is asking a question, the coach is already thinking, okay, what is going in the mind of a coach? You didn't have that time space also. Immediately you jumped to the coach's role
Mm.
and answered. And then again back into the coach's role. So that transition period, you didn't get any time to think your what we normally do when we have someone else. So coaching, you being the coach and the coachee is not really very easy, definitely not. Maybe next week sometime I'm going to try this out in the confines of my room, but I'm sure it's going to be very, very, very tough.
It is going to be interesting. I think you should try it out.
Someone else
Hmm.
has their hands up.
Yes, Prashali and Prince, both of them.
Hi, Sunil. Uh,
Yes,
uh,
Prashali.
Congratulations for a wonderful impromptu session.
Thank you.
Uh, it what I felt at the beginning, uh, I have seen you always work with silence so beautifully. So for me, seeing you as a coach and the client both, initially I thought this is more than usual that I'm listening to Sunil. He doesn't talk so much. That was the first thought that came to my mind. And I thought that he was, initially I thought maybe you were like 0.1% nervous, but after the first 5 minutes, I think that lifted and you just got so comfortable in your skin, and then you used everything that you normally use with other clients that I saw. And I really appreciate your high level of awareness, which I think, which is one of the reasons why I have been drawn to you and your coaching. Is A couple of things, was you saying walk your talk, and I see you doing that even in your coaching, and the topic itself you had brought that up. And the second thing is, it shows that even though uh, it's just been 2 3 years you're practicing, it just feels as if uh, it comes with lots of years of experience, this level of awareness. Like, what I personally admire in you is, for me to be self-aware, I would have spent the last 10 15 years, trying to know things which I feel, if coaching is new to you, you have, it's probably, it's in your blood, maybe, if I can say that in this 2 3 years you have really really gotten to know yourself so well. And all the holding space and all, I think I have seen only people who have that level of maturity and that level of wisdom, to be able to do it. It's not easy and it takes work. And I also had heard somewhere you had mentioned that you had anger management issues or something like that, and you
Yeah, angry young man. Yeah.
resolved it through some coaching. And I find it extremely hard to believe, honestly. I am yeah. So that's what I want to share, that it was a great experience. And thank you so much for your authenticity that gives me the courage to be more authentic and be myself even as a coach, because I have always been that way, and I have got a lot of people telling me that you are so naive, you don't know how to be in the world, and you got to be a little more practical, and you need to understand the ropes of the world. And you know, being whatever age I am, I always feel like a, teenage or an adolescent. And I somehow always thought that, oh, I wish I was given the manual for life. But okay, so coming back to the session, it was amazing. I want to again congratulate you for such a brave and courageous attempt, which gives me more faith in you, gives me more faith in coaching and myself. So thank you so much for this, Sunil.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. And I think I'll give you homework for all of you to watch this video and say what was good about it, what was not good about it, in terms of what.
Sorry, Sunil. There was just one question I had. I'll just
Mhm.
ask it. That did you actually experience this breakthrough that you did, or was it not as much?
Slightly not as intense. There was because some of the depth of the conversation was not something that I chose not to get into
Okay.
in this particular call with too much of details, because it then puts certain people under the radar. So that was that. But otherwise, I felt, yeah, I think there was an aspect of walking the talk, of becoming a value, being a value, general respect as an individual, general respect as a leader. So all that very much internal, very much Sunil the individual.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah,
Sunil.
perfect. So Deirdre, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was awesome. I'll just maybe comment a little bit on my experience of watching the session, which was I think I maybe reflecting what Aniket said earlier, that at the beginning it was a little more kind of wobbly as you were getting into it. It was a little stiff, right? But once you started getting into your characters, characters, um, it quickly, took its own shape, right? And in fact, for me, I found it helpful to close my eyes. So I was listening to what was happening more than I was watching it. And I'd look up and stuff, but there, and again with Aniket, I don't know, when you rewatch your video, maybe like I was actually taking notes as if I were an observer. So I put down at like 28 minutes, the client was quiet, kind of rolled his eyes and pursed his lips, right? And that was at about 28 minutes. And then the coach said, I see that you're reflecting. And, I don't know, but I was thinking, well, this coach and client relationship has lasted for 33 years. So there's probably a good chance that the coach knows what's happening in the client's head. But, but if you were coaching, right? So that was my sort of,
That's a
but
very, very deep reflection. Yeah, very deep
right.
reflection.
It was kind of like you could hear I wouldn't even have to know the hat or the shirt, because I was just listening, right? So the voices were different. There was a more gravitas in the coach, and of course shorter questions that mostly started with what or how do you feel, versus the client was, and a lot of silence. I really appreciate the silence. That was awesome. Um, and I kind of agree with Aniket's. Somebody asked the question, what was it like with the silence, Aniket, right? So I was like, that must have been interesting. Now, I also have to add that I have coached myself. Uh, I've done it while I was walking, and I had an audience with me. So I don't know if it's easier to do that, self-coaching, if anybody wants to try it, to have somebody who you trust with you. And we were walking, and the person who was with me has no idea about coaching, doesn't care about coaching. It's my spouse. And And I came to a lot of really great, I told them this is what I'm going to be doing because I'm having a real da-da-da-da here, and this is going to be a half an hour walk. Well, it's an hour, but I had a half an hour in the hour. I said, so is that okay with you? I just can't have you interrupting me or anything. And I did that. And I actually like worked through some stuff. So by the way, it works, I don't know. I'd love to hear more about it. Thank you.
I think it's a very interesting space. I think that no interruption is, I think, a very interesting aspect of it. Also, yeah, I think it takes a little bit of courage to even sit with yourself, because sometimes having another person is sharing a little bit of the 50% of the load is mentally on the other side. But here it is a difficult one. What are you getting aware of? Was it something that was difficult? Um, and I think personally for me, it felt a switch in energy, right? So when I was the coach, I had to maintain that presence. And that was very naturally for me. It was not like I have to switch on something, switch off something. That as soon as I moved this side, it was that energy. And for me, it helped because I had mentally made a this side of the space with another shirt on this one. Um, so it did feel like I'm stepping back into somebody who's the coach, and I'm stepping into a person on the other side. And that chaos, what you saw, was real because I was seeing my own body language, and it was not something that was to be put on as a show. It was real. It was raw. I remember like I'd actually put my seat higher. So my bed is at this level, and then I put a chair, and then a chair and two pillows, and then on the pillow was this. So I had to then stand and actually make this thing set up happen. And my leg was like like somebody roaring into the side of this side of things. So I was standing on this side of the bed and literally putting my energies into it. And here I'm switching off, coming here and like really elegantly standing. Like I know I'm a pillar of presence. And that was effortless. But as soon as I switched roles, I was the other side. And I think maybe a little bit of theatrics was also there in terms of very naturally there. Poets and storytellers naturally can get into that space. So that helped to be the other side. And I was two different individuals. I was not one individual trying to be two different things.
We noticed that. Sunil, I had put in a question, and if you have the time
Yes.
to
Yeah,
share
I
what.
think that was my way of answering that question. Say
No, so I
the
still have
silence.
that question about silence. What was
Uh-huh.
happening to that while you were shifting from one seat to the other?
So at that point, so say if I'm maintaining silence here, what's happening on this side of the story, right? So it was completely compartmentalized in my head. When I'm this side of the head, I'm not thinking about what next to ask here, what next. I was not thinking for the other side when I was on either side. When I'm here, I'm here. When I'm here, I'm here. So and that's where this, like a differentiation, mental differentiation, really helped.
Okay.
And that possibly is more of practiced from very naturally being a good actor.
Yeah, as I said, there I could see an actor's part also. I
Uh,
could see that actor part, and I was
there
prepared for
there is
that, of course.
there
But
is
then
theatrics.
your presence as a coach's presence, what you say, and active listening also. I mean, instead of thinking that what will I do going on the other side, you were so active in listening both the sides.
Yeah.
So I wonder how you did it.
No, I don't know how I did it. So
It
I think
looked
if I had
easy.
to
It
tell
looked
you,
easy, but I'm sure it was not easy at all.
I think it was easy because I was not thinking. So I was not thinking what to ask. I was not thinking what not to ask. I was not thinking what to answer. And typically, this is what is the unknown, right? I don't know what I'm going to ask. I don't know what topic I'm going to bring. I don't know what I'm going to say next. What question I have to ask. Where is this going? I have no idea.
So there was
As a
no thought.
coach, I
There
have
was
no
no
idea. As
time
a
for you
client,
to think, no, because you were constantly
mm,
talking, either as a coach or a coach. You were constantly talking, so there was no time for you to think.
yeah, so
So without thinking, I
that's
wonder how you did it. That means that coaching is as
because I
someone
didn't
said,
think it is because
it
I
is
didn't
right
think
there
it is.
inside you,
And I think that there is something
embedded.
I don't think I have an explanation as to how this happened. I really feel that this was something that I had to do, and it happened. And thank you for being here and observing and sharing. Um, and I think I will also sit on the recording as soon as this ends and see what it is all about.
Just as an added question, or is someone's hand up? Will you please go ahead because I've gone asking questions.
Thanks. One thing I did notice that was kind of that active listening, I'm interested in it because I've had coaches, mentor coaches who've said, don't, avoid doing this. But I think it really was effective for you at about 29 minutes in the session. And I was just using the Zoom timer. Um, the client said oh, interesting. I think that leaders need to be competent and driving the people and walking the talk. And I mean, really, 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 really walking the talk like that. And then he just kept going and everything. That was at 29, 30-ish minutes. Then the coach brought it up at 36 minutes. So like a while back later, right, for a 30-minute session, a while later. And I've had coaches say, don't do something that came up, but I thought it worked really effectively. You really kind of stopped, sort of paused and then really, really asked for his permission about, I observed something. Would you be okay? Do I have your permission? Can I share something? I'm really curious about it. But it was very effective because it really opened up and you got his ideas about leaders. And after that was when he said, well, I really am a leader and I don't like being associated with bad leaders. And I think that's just what's happening here. So, something like that, right? That was kind of my synopsis. But so it makes me think about how would I do that when it's like 5 minutes later that I'm going back to something that happened earlier. So it has me, rethinking that particular kind of situation.
Yes, interesting. I think you put a beautiful point. Both of that in terms of how you reflecting that's also a very subtle catch. This one's also a very subtle catch. Um, it was not so far back in the conversation, as in like it's not a 10-minute and say 50-minute delta that is there. And I am not holding on to that part of it and saying not let everything else go. But if you see, even as a if there were two individuals who were talking about it, that point it really did happen that something internally switched, and to not catch it versus go a little back in history is a small price to pay.
Nice. Yeah, it was really almost, I don't say uh I don't say critical, but maybe pivotal that you did bring it up. So I didn't feel like it was I was like, wow, that was awesome because he was like, I don't, he kind of went on the client kind of went on a monologue, right, about for almost like 2 minutes almost, right, about how he feels about walking the talk. It's really important. These are my values. I don't want to be associated with crummy leaders or a shitty organization or whatever. So, that was cool. Thank you.
Most welcome. I think fantastic observations, and then great. You really found the needle in the haystack with those two questions. Beautiful sharing. And for
Count
me, I
on me
think
to
I will
find a
also
needle
have
in
to
a
say,
haystack. I said, count on me to find a needle in a haystack. Teasing.
I think it still is wonderful feed forward. Great observations. Love that you made notes. I will also sit back on this conversation and see what all transpired. And I think with this particular space, I think we can close it for today and come back tomorrow. So we have a Q&A thing tomorrow, and then I think something around metaphors at around this point of time where we started. And then on Sunday, we have something with silence and, yeah, marrying coaching and creativity. And by then we would be done, and Jyoti would have got a certificate of appreciation for being there on almost all sessions.
Wow. No, you said something else also, no?